sometimes we can get so caught up in what went wrong with us. It's like we end up manifesting more wrong into our lives, like a domino effect. Is that we end up speaking on so much negativity that occurred that we end up speaking that same negativity into our reality. And the next situation that could have been good and could have presented itself as a blessing is now a burden because of what we're putting out into the universe via the tongue.
But it start with yourself, that's called self-love. But it start with yourself, that's called self-love. It's called self-love.
Yo, we back with another video. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You see the vibes. You see I got my F Racism hat on. You know what I'm saying? We spreading love, spreading awareness to unity. You know what I'm saying? Bringing my people together. Yes, Lord, that's what I'm for. But, you know what I'm saying? Today's topic is something that's been resurfacing in my life again and again. And the title is basically, be better than who hurt you, right? Be better than who hurt you. So, you know, the title is basically self-explanatory. You want to be better than the people who have misled you, that have misguided you, you know, people who have failed you, people who have had shortcomings in your life, in situations that may have presented themselves, you know what I'm saying? So, like, the whole concept behind this is maintaining awareness of how we want to treat people, right? How we want to be remembered, right? And overall, making up for the things that have gone wrong in our lives. That's the main concept. Because one thing I've learned, and this may seem like something that's very simple, but you know, I got this, you know, I got this phrase that common sense isn't common. You know, it's like what's common to you may not be common to me. You know, just because you have used this word again and again in your life doesn't mean that I'm familiar with this word or I understand it. Just because you've seen this movie 100 times doesn't mean that I'm familiar with this movie. Just because you know this person doesn't mean I'm supposed to know this person. Just because you know this phrase doesn't mean I'm supposed to know this phrase. You know, so what's common to one person may not be common to another because we cross different paths and we have different journeys. And the thing that may be relevant in your journey or something that may keep resurfacing in your reality may be something that's new to me and something that I'm unfamiliar with. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to be patient with each other. But the whole concept behind what I'm about to say is basically people who have been hurt are more likely to hurt others. People who have been misled are more likely to mislead other people. People who have been lied to know exactly how to lie. They recognize a lie from a mile away. And God forbid they're in a situation, they know exactly how to lie and how not to lie. Right? So one thing I've learned is that people who have been through negative experiences a lot of times, people will sit there and vent to you about the things they went through, about how this person was wrong, how this person mistreated them. And they'll spend so much time getting caught up in what went wrong in their life. It's almost like they forget how to appreciate things going right. It's almost like they feed off the negativity so much and we put so much energy and fuel into our frustration, we forget to put fuel into our focus. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So it's like, I've learned that you got to be careful who you deal with, who you associate yourself with. And this is why a lot of times, you know, people try to get in tune with someone's past. You meet someone new, but you want to become familiar with how people perceive them, things that they've done, how people treat them, right? Even though it could or could not matter in some situations, sometimes people would tell you bad things about a person, and this person will be perfect for your life. So you may need to analyze and, you know, be a little less judgmental on that situation according to your chemistry with that person or your perspective on that person, you know what I'm saying? Or a situation, don't even gotta be a person, it could be a person, place, or a thing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta use your own discernment and your own intuition to analyze something, but other times you may wanna understand what a person has experienced or what they've been through in the past because it'll tell you a lot and it'll save you a lot of headache. You know, like as a man, dating, you know, dealing with girls who have their father versus girls who grew up without their father is like night and day. It's a complete difference, I'm telling you. But it's not always that way. Sometimes I dealt with females who had their dad, like this girl, for example, I know I'm not gonna say her name, I'm gonna just call her B, right? And let's say B, her dad was a pastor, but he was super strict. So she was like super promiscuous. Like she damn near wanted to get back at her dad for all the times he restricted her from going to parties and having fun. She was like resentful. So she would want to like be extra promiscuous with multiple men at the same time while her dad was preaching. Like, she would want to do it meticulously while he was preaching. And she had a vendetta out for her dad for him depriving her from what she felt like was a normal childhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's messed up. So it's like, just to say, sometimes people do end up in a situation, they may be the exception to the rule. But more times than not, when I deal with a girl who hasn't had her father, you could tell certain things, like it's certain values she have. The self-worth is lower, the self-esteem is lower, the uncertainty, the trust issues, the trust level, the lack of respect and how she treat a man, the lack of support. She may not know how to support a man properly. I notice females may not understand how to deal with a man's different emotions. Like, they expect men to be like super macho and don't understand how to listen to a man properly, or how to respect a man, or how to allow a man to lead. It's a lot of different things that will come into play. So understanding a person's history is pivotal and is important, right? So in this situation, like, I feel like that same concept resonates with this. And if you know anything about me, I'm the least judgmental person ever. I try my best not to judge people. If anything, I'm not judgmental enough, but I feel like I want to start to be, not more judgmental, but I want to analyze things a little bit better, move forward, because I've grown to learn, especially over the recent past, like, people will be so caught up in what went wrong to them and what people did wrong to them, they end up repeating the same exact things. They end up being exactly like who they dislike, right? Don't be that person. Please, do not be that person. Be exactly who you wish someone was for you, right? Don't be bitter. Don't be frustrated. Heal. Forgive people. Understand that you may have been placed in a situation and you wanted someone to lead you the right way, but they may not have been qualified. God may have put you in a situation to experience someone displaying bad leadership just so you can learn firsthand exactly what not to do. And you gain direction, right? You gain a sense of direction. You gain a sense of understanding and wisdom, because you know exactly what not to do in a situation. You know exactly how a decision can make somebody feel, or how it can make or break someone, or how it can affect someone. And you being that someone who was affected, you now learn and understand. And now that's where it comes in for a time for you to forgive and be understanding, so that you can move forward with grace and love and treat others better. A lot of times people get so frustrated and so bitter and so caught up in what went wrong with them that they end up becoming exactly like who they dislike. They become exactly like the person that they complain about, and they repeat the same patterns. And I feel like in order to change the dynamic of our reality and of our lives and of the sequence of events, we must put awareness and focus onto situations and understand what went wrong, understand what went right. And, because something could go wrong, but it could still be good things that came out of the situation. But if you only see bad in the situation, you'll be so hurt and you'll be so frustrated. You'll be bent out of shape for no reason. Whole time God putting you through the situation so that you can listen, you can learn, observe, and gain wisdom, and you can grow and maybe help the next person. Life is about paying it forward, baby. You understand? You gotta pay this. You gotta pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? No, for real, because it's like you go through something, you learn. You want to, teach the next person. Each one teach one. No man left behind. You don't want to gain insight from a situation, but then choose not to help somebody else just because you frustrated that you suffer in a situation, right? That's not what Jesus stood for. If you believe in Christ, no matter what you believe in, but the concept of Jesus, is like, he died for our sins, so that we can have everlasting life, So him sacrificing something so that we can live and escape the same thing that maybe he experienced, right? That same concept, the Jesus theory, right? So sacrificing, if you go through something, you go through some type of pain or frustration, why would you allow someone close to you to go through the same exact thing? If you already been through it, you should be protecting them and correcting them and doing anything in your power to make sure they don't experience the same thing you went through. Only bitterness will cause a person to want to see someone else suffer the way they suffered. That's a lack of self-love. That's a lack of understanding. That's not purity. That's dangerous, to be honest. That's so dangerous. I don't tolerate or condone any type of bitterness. I don't like it. I pray for people. I don't take it lightly. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't play with it because it's just like people are crazy. You know what I'm saying? So my whole concept is like, be exactly who you wish people were for you. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of times we look up to our parents and we look at them like these superheroes and we want them to lead the right way, and when our parents acknowledge us this way and to love us that way and to be there for us this and be there and buy this then and do this and we put a lot of emphasis and pressure on them. But to be honest, they're just people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just people. If you got a friend and then he got his mom, like, that, his mom is just a person. But to your friend, his mom is everything. You know, and my mom to my friend is just a person. So these are just people. We just happen to be born under people. So we give them a lot of power and we put a lot of responsibility in their hands. But it's all about forgiveness and being understanding. You know, so we want our parents to be the superheroes that we looked up to on TV and yada yada. But to be real, they're just people. And we have to understand that people make mistakes and people slip. And we all need correcting. We all need each other. We all need assistance. Right? So a lot of times I noticed that a lot of times when people be so upset by how their mom didn't treat them or how their dad didn't treat them or how their dad did treat them and he mistreated them and he was an alcoholic and he did this, he did that, yada, yada, woo, woo, woo. But it's just like, man, these people are suffering. These people make mistakes. These people wish they could be happier, wish they had more money, and they feel like life felt them or they felt themselves. So then they project their frustration onto their children, onto their spouses, onto their siblings, onto who it may concern, unfortunately, right? And have you in a concern, right? And it's just unfortunate because people are suffering internally quietly and don't know how to express it or, you know, heal from it, and then they end up taking somebody else down in the midst of their own misery and frustration. And then now that person growing up is now bitter and looking at life like, why me? How come I was deprived of the love that people around me seem to be receiving, right? And then now this person, instead of acknowledging it and reflecting and forgiving and moving forward with love and being the change they want to see, they're now repeating that cycle and treating other people the same way they were treated because they're spending so much time bitching and complaining, excuse my French, but real shit, motherfucker be sitting there bitching. Like, bro, get over yourself. Learn to forgive people. Learn to understand people make mistakes, people slip. Understand. Like, just be understanding. You have so much power when you are understanding and you give grace. I'm not saying just allow people to do whatever and tolerate whatever, no. But you want to understand that people maybe didn't have the wisdom that you have. Maybe you see a situation clearly, you know exactly what not to do. Although you're the son or you're the daughter and you're expecting your mom to understand, expecting your aunt or your dad or whoever your caretaker may be, you expect them to know and to understand how to lead the way, but you may have insight and vision differently from them. God may have granted this to you. So even though you're younger, you know, you may have a sense of understanding and wisdom that's far beyond their years and far beyond their intellect, although they are the parent, although they may have some type of seniority over you. Just because a person has age or seniority doesn't equate to them understanding every little thing in life, right? So just understand that sometimes people who are meant to lead us end up misleading us and end up going the wrong way, right? And it's for us to understand, it's for us to be forgiven, and it's for us to take heed, to reflect, and to make the changes necessary, and to find directions for our own journey. You understand? So we got to make the right decisions and do better.
But it start with yourself, that's called self-love. But it start with yourself, that's called self-love.